Nice, nice. Hey there, guys. What's going on? We're back again. My name is Brandon from My Boy B. We have Angelo, the great musician and artist. How are you doing, brother? You doing all right?
I'm doing all right, man.
Doing good, doing good. You know, we're actually at the part 2 of this series where we actually go ahead and dive into the guts of the actual projects itself, Storyteller. So man, this is awesome by itself. Just want to let you know that. I get like I'm inside a movie in real life. Listen to it. I really do. As the overall message though, how do you feel like you would describe Storyteller as a whole?
Well, I mean, I think Storyteller is something that everybody can relate to because it has moments of grief, it has moments of happiness, it has moments of intense drama, it has moments of just sporadicism and unpredictability, and I think what the main goal is just of this album is to be able to have the people that hear it be able to, in themselves, dig out stories and find stories within themselves.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when you really think about it, we all are storytellers in our own way.
True.
You know, whether it be actual storytelling or if we have some art that we do, or in anything. You know, so we all... Our life is a story.
Yeah.
So, at the end of the day, you know, even if you ain't telling that story, it's a story at the same time. So, the goal of the Storyteller is just basically to present the emotions and ideas that I have inside of me, mixed with the creativity, you know what I'm saying, that I have, to try to bring people in to see my story, while at the same time enabling them to be able to find the stories within themselves and activate them, you know, so activate the stories at the same time. Man.
There's a real sense to attachment to emotion as I go through. There, like you said, there are a sense of grief and a points in time where you're happy and you hear these harmonies and these melodies and they take you to a sense of happiness. But there's also sometimes in that same exact song that takes you to a sadness, to where it's not necessarily where the song is sad. Like you said, there isn't any lyrics to it. It's all piano, but yet there is a sense of emotion and feeling that it takes you there. And just as much as you just said, to where the interpretation is open, and that's where the Storyteller come in, and it's meant to be an open book for interpretation.
Yeah, man, that's the goal. Man.
That's the goal, and I think you accomplished it, man. I think you accomplished it. Do you think now, as we kind of talk about it, I mean, there's 9 songs, and they all do have their own emotional attachment. Is there any one in particular that you think really stands out as something that's very firm and kind of out there?
Well, I think it's funny. I think the first song that I have on there is Reminiscence, and I think I kind of see it as like a prologue, because you can look at the album as kind of like a book.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
I definitely get that. I definitely get that.
And what's different and what's special about that song is that I gotta let my mom listen to it. She's like, "Why is it so dark? That song is so sad." You know what I'm saying? And then I have other people telling me like, this is like it reaches a different emotion, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the song is kind of, it can be, it's dramatic. It's in like a minor key, so you know what I'm saying. Minor keys typically are equated to kind of gloomy or dark. But at the same time, in my eyes, I see it as like setting the table for what's to come, because you know what I'm saying. A lot of albums, they start off with fire, and it's you know what I'm saying. But in my eyes, that is fire, but it's just different. You know what I'm saying. It's like white fire, a different type of fire. You know what I'm saying. And I think that song, the reason I put it there is because people will listen to the album and be like, oh. This is not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and I think that's something that I want. I want you to hear something and not expect it in a good way.
In a good way. So, I would definitely describe it as a sense of, unexpectancy, but as you kind of listen to it, there is a comfortability to it. As you start to listen to it, it's not necessarily that's something that's kind of stepped out and kind of very rhythmic, kind of goes in a sequence or anything like that. There is an improvisation to it that real life has, where you have to improv in real life situations, and you can go from happy to sad in a snap, just as much as all emotions kind of take over. I think that's a very good connection to this, actually. I think that's very good. The more I listen to it, honestly, I focus. I feel like the more I listen to it, there's a sense of focus in there. Maybe it's me just trying to listen to the keys itself and trying to grab to the emotion, which it already does, and it kind of already the music itself kind of pulls for me personally. I just know I have my own personal attachment to music, but the sense of not hearing any words, not necessarily getting stuck in any type of sequence where I'm just kind of banging my head to the same old thing, but there's a sense of moving forward, and there is a story being told in each and every song.
Yeah, man.
I definitely like that. So I know we're kind of covering it like the last video. We were just kind of talking about it more. It's just kind of like the style and the sound that you kind of go for, which is a nice blend between jazz and classical music. Do you think anything else, or another style of music kind of helps you build Storyteller? Because I definitely agree with you on that. I think jazz and classical is a very good synopsis of how this is gonna sound.
Yeah, man. I mean, jazz and classical are the main focuses. Like from jazz, the art of improvisation. A lot of the different harmonies I use are jazz harmonies, you know, and then the classical aspect. Some of the forms are kind of classical, and being that a lot of my songs are through composed, meaning that there's no, like in jazz you'll have a chorus, verse, you know what I'm saying, the kind of thing that you hear in pop music and R&B. Yeah. But in my songs, they're composed like through, like, so you a lot of times you're not gonna have one set chorus or as it be the same as the next one. You know what I'm saying? I compose it all the way through. So it's different. So those aspects of that of jazz and classical, and then avant-garde basically, you know, is kind of free form, I guess you can call it. The best way to describe it. I take some blues stuff, maybe some gospel stuff, I think one song, some kind of pop stuff. I think the song called Glory. It's kind of, you know, catchy or something.
I do remember that one.
Something that you can pinpoint a melody. And be like, okay, well, I hear that.
That was actually one question I was trying to get into was how the creative process went down in a sense of piecing together the music as it went on, because what we were saying, and there was some improvisation in there, and there is no, you know, very step sequence to it. So it's kind of, how do you build out a song? If you know, just kind of start at the beginning and you just kind of move towards the end, or is it something that you kind of piece together in small pieces? How would you describe that?
Well, I honestly, it could be either way. So there would be some songs that I will just sit down the piano and just like take a deep breath, close my eyes, and then just let my fingers go. And then so I basically build that song as I go. Which kind of puts a lot of pressure on the person that's making songs, because you know what I'm saying, that gives me more room to fail.
Right.
But you know, high risk, high reward, right?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That one take has got to be money.
Right.
Or at least half of it.
Right. Yeah,
at least half of it.
Couldn't pace. And then some songs I'll have a melody. So I'll have a melody, and then I'll build around that. And then some songs I'll have like some type of pattern, and I'll build on that. Some songs I'll just have emotion, or I'll have like a memory, or sometimes even like a color. Like I'll see like orange or something like that. And then in the weird mind that I have, and I think a lot of creative artists that they see different stuff like that.
Thought I was the only one, right?
You know what I'm saying? So and then I'll go from that, or I'll have just a rhythmic pattern or something like that. I mean, there's so many different ways that I come with music, and then some songs I'll like write it completely through. But it just depends. My goal is just to keep it as natural and organic as possible. And that's my goal, to keep it organic.
But it comes through. It definitely comes through. I mean, if I personally could pick out my favorites, like I said, I think I was talking to you before. I had the last three were just. Those were my favorites. I had Moonlight Dance, Rhapsody, and There Was Stillness. Rhapsody, though.
Yeah, man,
that one's a nice one.
That one. I think that one is probably one of my favorites too.
That one is a nice one. I feel like the emotion kind of starts at the beginning, and it kind of grabs you to where it's like you can't help but feel it. But then it carries you all the way to the end. You're like, man, that was. I feel like I just went somewhere. I feel like I just felt something, or at least saw something that happened, even though I'm just in the car. You know what I'm saying? There was something that just happened right there, but I didn't go anywhere.
And being that I'm majority of the songs I play by myself, but I had two wonderful musicians play with me. Chris Renee did bass, and Jimmy Peggy did some electronics with me.
Yeah.
But
shout out to them, by the way.
Absolutely. Shout out to them. They are the dopest.
They are nice. They were coming through. They were coming through strong.
Right. So, but you know what I'm saying, when I'm doing everything mostly by myself, I have that burden. So I'm basically an orchestra.
Yeah.
So I have to have the melody. I have to articulate a melody. I have to articulate a rhythm. I have to articulate harmony. I have to articulate emotion. You know what I'm saying? Dynamics. Everything. I have to be responsible for that.
Yeah.
So that gives me all that carte blanche, that freedom to do with everything. But at the same time, if it ain't right, you know what I'm saying, it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And that's me making myself very vulnerable to the listener. You know what I'm saying?
That's the artist.
And,
that's what the artist has to deal with.
You feel me?
At a certain point, you got to overcome that for your own growth. For your own growth.
Man. But you sound like Rhapsody, yeah, man. And you talk about journey. Like the goal, I think for every song is to take you somewhere.
Yeah.
If it doesn't take you somewhere, then I'm doing something wrong.
Right. Well, I definitely feel like I'm listening to a movie in real life. It's like I know I just made that quote up, but that is actually how I really felt, and I'm glad that the mission was to attach to some type of emotion. Because I think that, like I said, that mission was accomplished. I really do.
I appreciate it, man.
Definitely. Nice. So I'm so glad you guys are here and listening to my man. I know he has some great music, and really go out and listen to it. Like I said, some hard focused music. If you really want to listen to it and gotta get some work done, we got you right here for Storyteller. Go ahead and learn you a thing or two. We'll be right back, guys. Thank you.